Welcome to the Joseph Crudup Show. Today is Thursday, September 29th, 2022, and yes, it has. The hurricane Ian hit Florida last day and last night, and it will continue tomorrow and tomorrow night as it heads to South Carolina and to North Carolina, and we're going to have some rain tomorrow night. Tomorrow morning through tomorrow night and to Saturday, and yes, it has. And hurricane is not a joke and it's and it's got worse and worse and worse. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the people in Florida today, where they had the homes damaged and they had power lines down and trees are down and some flooding. And yes, it has. It has been a messy day in Florida. And it just has been now and has been hitting Florida for 40 hours and did not stop. And it just keeps coming. And it keeps coming and keeps coming. Just when you know it happened, it's just the way it is. It goes to the sun like this. It just thoughts and prayers go out to the families and the friends and everybody that everything they've been through in this major storm. And we're going to Fox News. It says hurricane in mainland fall in southwestern Florida on Wednesday afternoon, just after 3 p.m. Eastern. The major storm has left more than 2 million Florida residents without power and has downgraded to a tropical storm, but was set to risk strengthening little Thursday ahead of final rainfall in South Carolina. It has been going on for 48, 72 hours now. It is what it is. And first, I mean, just a just a just a sad day in Florida, and just a bad day in Florida. Now, look at this. Now, speaking to reports, that's today, South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster said Hurricane Ian is set to make landfall on Friday. We know this is going to be a serious storm, but we know that we can handle this if we use our heads and follow the rules. Give me 1 second. Okay. Look. Now it says, look, now I'm going to continue this now. Now, Henry McMaster says, we know this is going to be a serious storm, but we know that we can handle this is we lose our heads and find the rules. McMaster said, tell residents to get supplies now before the storm hits. Call a family, call the loved ones, tell them where you're going to be. And he said people will be safe if they lose their heads and follow the rules, adding, don't be static. Tropical force winds are set to develop little Thursday with 60 to 70 miles per hour winds, gusting, resulting in downed trees. It's EHC says potential South Carolina landfall Friday along the state's central and north coast, and storm surge remains in effect for the entire South Carolina coast. Now, people do have storm like this. It's became awful, but I never seen anything like this in Florida. Now, if we go to North Carolina, Governor Will Cooper provides update as state prepares for remains of Hurricane Ann. Speaking at Thursday press conference, North Carolina Governor Will Cooper urging residents to be ready as the state prepares for the remains of Hurricane Ann. Our state will stay our state will stand ready to assist them more after the storm passes us. But today, It's time for all North Carolinians to be ready ourselves to stay safe in recent hours. And has reminded us of the dangerous unpredictability of these storms and its track continues to change, he said. And it's a setting to strengthen into a hurricane again this evening before making it landfall near Charleston, North Carolina. For North Carolinas, I want to be clear. This storm can still be dangerous and even deadly. Heavy winds up to 7 inches in some areas will likely be flooding, he said. Now, Governor Cooper said 80 members of North Carolina National Guard have been deployed to help with storm response. Now, Tennessee Governor Bill Lee on Thursday signed an executive order to help ensure that support reaches Florida as quickly as possible as the state recovers for Hurricane Ann. Now, DeSantis on Hurricane Ann response, and it says this is going to be a 24/7 operation. Sam Barris is destructible. Wow. Now, speaking to reporters in the afternoon update from the Charlotte County Emergency Operations Center, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said today that he has seen a number of efforts to bring people to safety, particularly in Lee County, Collin County, Charlotte, and Naples. This is going to be a 24/7 operation because we realize how important it is. He noted. DeSantis said that more than 2 million have been raised to support storms recovery efforts in less than 24 hours. Note that this is just the beginning. There's a lot more that's going to need to be done, the governor added. Now, DeSantis said he has been able to meet some of the more than 42,000 linemen in Lake City, Florida, and that Florida Power and Light Company had the biggest footprint. FPL President Eric Stanley said that 20,000 men and women were working to restore power and that 700,000 customers had seen power restored after the hurricane. Not one transmission towers were lost. And it says, now here's what it says. We are now in the process of getting the distress builder system back up and the stations that have flying debris go into their clear out so we can get them back online, he said. Sally is slightly explaining that sections that will require rebuilding in the Bell Islands. And so, this is a 24/7 effort to stabilize and to restore. And so, we're going to do whatever we can to assist with that effort, DeSantis started. The governor told members of the million that Sunbury Island is particular its destruction and had gotten hit with really bilateral storm surge. Boards and structures was washed away there, and he called it remains of settlement really difficult remains to see. The governor said that while the state wants to get back to some steady sense of normalization as quickly as possible, but they realize it will be harder in some areas than others. But let's work on Saturdays and let's bring it back to where it was as soon as we can. Now, it didn't happen about 24 hours later, and yes, it has. Now, President Biden, Hurricane Ann could be deadless in Florida history. Now, it says this. Speaking from FEMA headquarters in Washington on today, after President Biden said Hurricane Ann could be the deadliest hurricane in Florida's history. The numbers are still unclear, but we're having early reports of what may be sustainable loss of life. He explained. The president said that U.S. Coast Guard had deployed 16 rescues helicopters, six flight range aircraft, and 18 rescue boats to rescue the hard hit elves. And in the face of the serious danger, search and rescue operations got underway before dawn this morning for people starting and who are in desperate shape. He told reporters, and I say it again, he told the reporters Biden said more will be learned in coming hours, but that the administration knows many families are hurt. We're going to pull together as one team, as one America. He assured, added that the federal government will cover in a measure of the cost of rebuilding. Biden approved a major disaster declared in Florida early in the day. However, here's what's happening right now. However, the danger from Elm was not over. The tropical storm was set to once again make landfall as a Category 1 hurricane on South Carolina coast later on Thursday. I also want to say again to everyone in Land's path, the danger is real. To state the obvious, the president August, turning his attention to oil and gas executives. Biden said there would be no excuse for raising price at the pump. Do not, do not, do not lose this dawn as an excuse to raise gasoline prices or go to the American public. He insisted. America is watching, and the indigenous should do the right thing. I say it again. America is watching, and the indigenous should do the right thing. Biden said that he will go to Florida and meet with Governor Ron DeSantis and Puerto Rico wherever weather conditions allow. Now, to Puerto Ricans, he added, we're not done. We're not go away. We're not gone anyway. Now, it is what it is. Now, it just, like, so people know that was a dangerous storm up there, and people have learned about it, and sometimes you do everything, you go out there and you learn that you lost everything that you ever on, and it got bad here. So now it was the hardest hurricane and had did a lot of damage to Florida. Florida has been one of the hardest hits ever since 1992. Remember Hurricane Andrew? Yes, it is what it is. But look, and this is what it says. It was like when it was 30 years ago. Okay, now look at this. My mom moved to my now. Look at this. Now it's just like this one. And here's what the man said in Florida, in the record Florida. It was like 30 years ago. It was 30 years ago, right? And he said my mom moved to Miami 10 days ago, 10 days before Hurricane Andrew hit in 1992. She was 19, didn't speak English, and was immediately baptized as a Floridian. She bought the floor out in a small bedroom with her uncles and cousins. After the storm, she waited in lines for hours to get food and water, did laundry in an overflowing lake behind the house. It was without power for over a week. I grew up in South Carolina and South Florida in the 2000s when stories of Andrew were told in husband tons over a decade later. The storm was taken about with the same somberness as what I imagined it was like in the minute aftermath. In middle school, our history books have pictures of debris fields that used to be in entire neighborhoods, reminding us of the ever-present that threat that comes with living in the Sunshine State. Hurricane season Taco runs from June to November, And in 2005, multiple storms made their way through the southeastern United States. Everyone remembers Katrina and high alerted the. Huh? Okay. Hurricane season 2001 from June through November and in 2005, the multiple storms made their way through the southeastern United States. Everyone remembers Katrina and high alert in the state of Louisiana forever. Although Katrina then made its way through Florida, Wilma is a storm that I can remember like it was yesterday. Wilma hit on Saturday, October 22nd. My mother, stepfather, brother, and I wore the storm out in the bedroom. My parents put a master on the floor, and after the power went out, I remember hearing the wind howl like a wandered dog crying for help. At one point, the howling just stopped. My mom, almost with storms from injury, pointing out that the eye of the storm was passing over us. I remember going outside to explain us the airline colors of the storm, what was just 30, 45 seconds max. Felt like hours. We went back to the bedroom. The sounds of the wounded puppy returned, and every I fell asleep. At the time, my stepdad worked as a tech guy for a company that had offices in South Florida, and Charlotte, North Carolina. I remember grabbing a bag, hopping in a car, and going to his office to grab some computers. So this is not. I gotta say this again. I'm going to the office to grab some computers they need to hand to save. In the middle of the night, my brother, stepfather, and I walked through the office with flashlights, grabbing the computers and hopping in the car. Now, destination is Charlotte. Now, he goes on and on and down. Now, the man can goes on and on. That's why I say now. That's now a hit destination, Charlotte. Picking out of the back seat. My home was all recognizing. We have floating before. Sure, but this was next level. The water forced us to drive at a much shallower pace than, than normal. Not a single traffic light was working. Trees and branches were leaning across the street. When we made it out of Broadway and into Palmer Beach, the lines for the rest stop gas stations stretching for miles. For the mother carried two adults, two kids, and thousands of dollars worth of computer equipment. Running out of gas was not an option until we did. After a while, a police officer pulled up behind us. His sole job for the evening was to find cars that ran out of gas and get them just enough to make it to a Carabella Farms station a few miles past the rest stop so they could fill it up and continue their investigation. If there was even a time to believe in some kind of divinity, that was it. He gave us a few gallons of gas, gave us directions to the station, and drove us to find someone else who needed help. As we pulled out of the gas station, I saw the car pull in and start refilling the same containers that had served us just 10 minutes ago. I never know who that man is, but he saved us and countless others that night. Evidently, we made it to Charlotte to drop off my stepdad. My mother counting the drive to Virginia with my brother and me. When my uncles opened their homes to us for about 3 weeks, rumor and had devastated in the polo ground in Broadway. With schools closed for 2 weeks, which meant Halloween in Virginia was especially for fun for us because they give out full size and candy bars in the neighborhood we trick or treat in. The full impact of Hurricane Anne won't be known for months. The main remains are accomplices. Places like Cap Cola, Fort Miles, Napa, and brought up and down the west coast of the state are unrecognizable. But those people are now long. Every Floridian has a story like the ones I told. My mom has injury. I have one more. And an entire generation of Floridians will, unfortunately, have on, have in. Right now, it doesn't matter what college football team we cheer for. What matters is that we, as Floridians, come together and take care of our own. On Sunday, we watched the Gators play a football game, but our minds and hearts will be on something more important than a game. Now, Monday ever is when we need that good senator who filled up by family's card with gas we need it. Let's show the nation who Florida Man really is. That's all I have to say for now. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the Florida and people today. More updates on the hurricane and for tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be rain. A lot of rain, 100% chance of rain in North Carolina. We're after it hits South Carolina tonight. And it's going to head to North Carolina Hill tomorrow morning and tomorrow night and into Saturday. That's all I have to say for now. This is Joseph Crudup. We'll see you tomorrow and more updates on all the can. Be safe.